Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. It is time once again to bring the hammer down on everything wrong with tonight's episode of SmackDown Live. And don't even come at me with "oh well, Mr. Nightmare, but at least it was better than Monday Night Raw." You could keep that crap all to yourself. Oh, being better than Monday Night Raw, what does that mean? That is not an accomplishment. That's just standard everyday living. Everything in the world is better than Monday Night Raw. Comparing it that way would be like saying that a dog shit sandwich tastes better than a shit sandwich made out of human shit, when essentially, at the end of the day, it's still just a shit sandwich. Was there a little bit of peanuts in this shit sandwich that made it taste a little bit better? Maybe for some of you. Definitely not for this guy. Allow me to explain. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's SmackDown Live review on this ridiculous road to Extreme Rules. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, tonight's SmackDown Live, it's nothing to get excited about. There's nothing for you guys to really latch on to and go, "oh my god, SmackDown Live has been saved by Eric Bischoff." I do not feel like Eric Bischoff had anything to do with this show, which is terrible because he could definitely give his input in a way that would make this show feel better, I think. If he, just like last night in the case with Paul Heyman, if he had anything to do with any of the segments on tonight's show, it's probably the ones that maybe felt a little bit better to you. And there were a couple of segments on tonight's show that weren't actually that bad and that we could actually get behind. But for the most part, tonight's show was just another effortless edition of SmackDown Live, mainly comprised of talking about last night's shit show of Monday Night Raw. Why do we have to talk about this? Oh, Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley, they blew up the Titantron, and we have an official announcement of how everything is going. Who cares? Braun Strowman has a ruptured spleen. No, he don't. No, he don't. How did he rupture his spleen? By spearing Bobby Lashley through the fucking Titantron. There was no contact to his midsection whatsoever. This is a ridiculous injury for them. At least say he broke his arm. He shattered his elbow. He got a concussion. He jacked his neck. Something that could at least be believable. He ruptured his spleen. Oh, my spleen. I'm Braun Strowman and I hurt my spleen. Let me go get a fucking spray tan so I look more brown. Who cares? I didn't want to see any of this crap last night. And you got the whole wrestling world. Oh my god, the first 20 minutes were such a home run for Monday Night Raw. What are you people on crack? What was such a home run about watching two pieces of trash collide into a big disaster? If you don't give a shit about Braun Strowman and you don't give a shit about Bobby Lashley, then you didn't give a shit about that match, just like this guy. And I wouldn't blame you for it one bit, but we had to start tonight's SmackDown Live talking about this. And while SmackDown Live had a little bit better of a feel to it, that could only be attributed to one thing, and that's the fact that they weren't as handcuffed by the no wrestling during commercials rule because of the picture-in-picture thing they got going on with SmackDown Live, which begs the question, if this is an easy way out for you on the Blue Brand, why aren't we doing this on Raw? Do you see how much more you are still able to invest yourself into the matchups? When they go picture in picture, the match is still going on, you can still watch, and you could feel like that you're not missing out on anything. You could listen to them try to sell you KFC. You could listen to them try to make you go on vacation to whatever local tourist thing that's going to run their commercials. Why would you run a tourist commercial for I Love New York? Come visit New York City. I live in New York. This broadcast is in New York. Why are you putting these stupid commercials on? I don't know. Obviously, some of you guys didn't get this commercial, but come on. Wherever you live, are they running commercials for you to come to where you live? Come visit West Virginia. Oh, I live in West Virginia. Maybe I should go visit there. These are the type of fans that are taking social media and proclaiming like a victory for WWE with these two shows. Everybody, like I keep saying, needs to calm down. You know, I heard the announcement just like everybody else, but I didn't feel any change that could have possibly been implemented by Eric Bischoff. We started off this show with a talk show, and why we have to have a talk show on every episode, I don't understand why that has become par for the course for the WWE. Why? Why every fucking episode do we have to see a Miz TV, a Kevin Owens show, a Moment of Bliss? Usually it's one of the three. Tonight we had two of them within the first 60 minutes of the show. Two talk show segments. Both of them didn't need to be happening. While I enjoy the work of Kevin Owens on the microphone, this was a very confusing scenario to me. You have Kevin Owens coming out, having an episode of the Kevin Owens Show with his special guests, the Human Sweat Machine, and Drew I Don't Give a Shit. And you don't have time for Shinsuke Nakamura. You don't have time for the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor. Didn't these guys bump into each other in the hallway a couple of weeks ago? It seemingly got some sort of a reaction from me when it happened. It got a reaction from the crowd, and I seen people buzzing about it on social media, but I guess the WWE forgot that they were going to do this. The one interesting thing you had going on over there. And we have seen neither hide nor hair of either of these guys. Where is Rusev? But I can see Shane McMahon come out there and sweat all over the Kevin Owens show. Drew McIntyre coming out there acting all smug, trying to be a villain. Looking more like Snidely Whiplash to me. All he needs to do is twirl his fucking little mustache. He's so bland and boring when he speaks. Pair him up with the dripping, disgusting Shane McMahon. All I want to do is turn off my TV. And do you know how the WWE decided to make this even more interesting? They brought out, the world's biggest crybaby, Dolph Ziggler. And by the way, all you little crybabies that want to flood this channel, calling me an AEW lover and all that shit, that's your new name. You guys are from now and forever called the Ziggies. All you Ziggy crybabies, just shut your mouth, because the hammer falls hardest when it is annoyed at no matter what show we are talking about. It's an equal opportunity hammering here, so keep all your, you're just a WWE hater bullshit in your pocket for some other channel, because I don't want to hear it. We had to recap The Undertaker's appearance on Monday Night Raw. How could you not like The Undertaker? What's wrong with you? You're not a fucking wrestling guy. I have seen and experienced live, firsthand, the glory and the majesty and the might of The Undertaker. So excuse me if I'm not fucking excited to see him coming out here and involving himself in a storyline that I already give two shits about. The Undertaker's involvement here does nothing to elevate my curiosity. It does nothing to elicit my interest. It does nothing. It doesn't do anything to help Roman. It doesn't do anything to help Shane or Drew. I still don't give a shit. And to make it even worse, we have seen nothing from the Firefly Funhouse. Both episodes tonight missing Bray Wyatt 2 weeks in a row. And that's who should be talking and messing around with The Undertaker right now. As The Undertaker is still, for the last 5 years, in the twilight of his career, what better way for him to go out than to go out to this new face of evil that has become this incarnation of Bray Wyatt, which has just been fantastic. And all the good things that you give us, you take them away. also I can hear them talk about how they're going to beat The Undertaker and this and that. And then they're going to bring out Dolph Ziggler. And the best part about the segment was Kevin Owens going off. Kevin Owens played the part of Nick Nightmare. If I was in that ring at that moment when Dolph Ziggler came out, you would have got the exact same verbiage that you heard from Kevin Owens from this guy, because you longtime fans know. We don't even have to be longtime fans, because we've been ragging on Dolph for the last few weeks. If you've been following me for the last couple of weeks, you know that to be a fact. It's almost as if Kevin Owens heard my words and then took them exactly and put them on SmackDown Live. So of course I was like, hey, yeah, I get that. That was cool. At least somebody is acknowledging that this is retarded. Nobody wants to hear this shit. Go away. But did he go away? No. The WWE again finds a way to make things even worse. You got Dolph Ziggler crying all over the place. Shane McMahon sweating all over the place. Somebody get Kevin Owens a towel because he's going to have to wipe up when everything is over with. And what is the point of this segment? To set up the main event tonight. A main event that makes absolutely no fucking sense. And the reasoning for it makes zero sense as well. What happens? Well, Owens and Ziggler are mad at each other, and they both want a shot at Kofi Kingston's WWE Heavyweight Championship. Kevin Owens makes the logical assumption, hey, listen, this management guy is sweating all over the place out here. Why don't we ask him to put us in a match and the winner can get a title match? And I'm like, well, that's usually how things would go down. I don't want to see Dolph in this situation again. Kevin Owens also has a claim for a rematch against the champion, even though both of these guys have lost on multiple occasions to Kofi Kingston on this run that he's on. And he's like, okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, something in this segment that makes sense. But then Sweatballs has to say, nah, you know what? You guys want championships so bad. We're going to put you in a tag team matchup. That's what we're going to do. You two guys, you got heat with each other. You got beef. You're all pissed off at one another. What's the best thing for business? Let's put you on a team. Let's make you a team. You have to work together even though you are under each other's skin. It's going to be great. And you guys can go up against Heavy Machinery in the main event. And the winner of this main event gets a shot at the championship of the tag team division for SmackDown Live. Wow! Wow! Why? Why? A, what has Heavy Machinery truly done to deserve a shot at the championships? These guys have been around for a cup of coffee right now. Maybe they got one or two key victories, and they picked one up before the end of the night tonight as well. But are they truly championship deserving? In the eyes of the WWE, obviously, we got Lacey Evans fucking challenging for the championship on Raw. Why can't we have these two guys challenging for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships? The tag team division is a mess as it is. And to even further that point, you just gave an opportunity to get a shot at the championships to a tag team that Shane McMahon just allowed to happen, that have never teamed together before in a tag team capacity, that have no reason or any desire at all for tag team gold. If Kevin Owens was going to go for tag team gold and you wanted to give him a partner tonight, then the partner to give him was Sami Zayn. Where's Sami Zayn? I don't understand it. The pieces for something interesting were right there. Well, okay, we can establish the number one contender for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. We got two guys who failed already multiple times. They want another shot. Let them fight it out, and whoever wins goes on. That's fine. I would have been fine with that. But no, we get typical WWE garbage. We're going to have a tag team match, and that's it. And you're going to get a shot at this championship, even though neither one of these teams truly deserve it, and they're going to be inserted into the match at Extreme Rules. But yeah, everything is great. Everything is saved. How many of you guys were thinking about that? Daniel Bryan defeats Big E tonight. I was okay with this match for the most part. Daniel Bryan, to me, is one of the best that WWE has. He continues to be underutilized. I understand they're trying to protect him by putting him in the tag team division, but this tag team division means so little, it's almost disrespectful for Daniel Bryan to even be a part of it. But this was a decent match. I thought it would have been better if they would have had Daniel Bryan go against Xavier Woods tonight and get the win. They could have done the match exactly the same. But to me, Big E, like, he's the heavy hitter, man. He's the guy that you call up when you have no choice. You know what I mean? Like, he should just be out there having a good time and whatever. But when things get serious, we call in the muscle. But you have Big E go out there and lose to Daniel Bryan tonight. And I know the circumstances, you know, they had the distraction on the outside and he ended up getting a running knee from Daniel Bryan and Daniel Bryan would get the pin. I understand it. But I think it's a little bit, to me, damaging to Big E. I mean, Daniel Bryan's not the biggest guy. I know he's a former champion. But it's like, they're just wasting Big E. This guy should be killing people out there. And he's just going out there and essentially jobbing out before he gets a shot at the championship with his partner Xavier Woods at Extreme Rules. The matchup itself was entertaining. I will give them that because these two guys are very good at what they do. But I didn't appreciate Big E just suffering a loss for pretty much no reason. Oh my God. Kayla Braxton in the back interviewed R-Truth, and this was just more of the train wreck scenario. Like last night we had Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch coughing all over the place. Practicing their Lamaze for when they finally get to have a little burn it down slayer, right? And now tonight we got R-Truth, who doesn't know how to count to 3 or 4, and everything he said really was just kind of jumbled and didn't make too much sense. And apparently what's going to happen is what we said was going to happen last night, only the WWE, even though I could care less about the 24/7 Avocado I'm a Clown Championship, they even found a way to ruin any sort of surprise with that. Although we already were expecting it, and it's pretty predictable, you didn't have to have R-Truth come out there tonight and essentially tell the world, well, yeah, I'm going to go get him on his honeymoon. Because me and my wife, we never had a honeymoon. And, you know, I say the number 3, but I show 4 fingers. And, you know, honeymoons are great. And I'm going to go on a honeymoon. What's better than a honeymoon with 2 people? A honeymoon with 3 people. All right. Great. Did you care? Because I didn't. Just like I didn't care about another edition of A Moment of Bliss, something we just seen 24 hours ago, only this time Alexa Bliss, while she's on her way out to the ring to do her interview segment, decides, hey, you know what, Nikki? I'm such a cool friend. I'm such a cool little Bliss fit. You are going to be the host of my show tonight. And tonight's guest, once again, is going to be Bayley. And now you have Nikki Cross out there playing devil's advocate for Alexa Bliss. I don't understand why you're so mad at Alexa Bliss. I don't understand why she gets this head. And I just want to put a gun to my head and pull the trigger. Ow! What is this? Why are we watching this? So that Nikki Cross can have another match with Bayley. Why are we having this match again? So Bayley can get her win back. 50-50 booking, the way the WWE kills every momentum-based feud that they got going. They're building something up here with Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. I'm not really that interested in it. You guys know I've been coming down on it. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but at least it's something for you to go, well, where is this going? It may not be great, and the direction and the final destination here might be fucking awful, but I need to know where this is going. And then you don't even make it interesting. You just have them trading wins. That's not wrestling. One guy winning this week, one guy winning next week, and then they just go back and forth, or one girl in this case, and then the other girl just back and forth. How does anybody establish momentum? Do you remember when we used to watch back in the day? And I'll go far back if you want, and I can't think of anything more recent, but the name that just pops into my head is a guy like Ric Flair. This guy, even when he wasn't a champion, you didn't see him always losing. And if he was ever in the threat of losing a matchup, they found a way out of it. They used the Horseman. He used to cheat his way out of scenarios, and you would build and build to that moment where the guy got to beat Ric Flair. You didn't see Harley Race pinning Ric Flair 6 or 7 times before he got to the NWA Championship matchup where Ric Flair fucking finally wins. That's not how it works. And you don't go back and forth. Yeah, I'll win this week, you win next week, I'll win that week, you win this week, and then we'll just, whatever, we'll flip a fucking coin and decide who wins in the end. It's like they think every single series is a best of 7. Not every feud needs to function that way. This was all a fucking waste of time. And I really could care less. Bayley defeats Nikki Cross. Who cares? In the back, WWE Champion Kofi Kingston is on his way to the ring to have his face-to-face with Samoa Joe. I appreciated this segment on a couple of levels, because the first thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking about this feud is that they're just going to keep putting them in matches, and this is a much better thing to do. Having them just come face-to-face, it got a little heated, it felt a little personal, and then Kofi Kingston flips off Samoa Joe. And everybody's all like, oh, did you see Kofi Kingston just gave him the middle finger? Oh, what are you, 12? Who cares? Really? Was it that much of a big deal for you? Oh, it's a return to the Attitude Era. Stop it, will you? Oh, they're saying the word bitch. Oh, it's so adult now. We're not trying too hard. It's a little much. Was that Bischoff's 2 cents tonight? Oh, by the way, Kofi, controversy creates cash. Let's make a controversy. Stick up your middle finger. Yeah, I'm the bish. Come on, you guys. How starving are you guys for good content that the guy flips off the middle finger and everybody loses their mind? Oh, man, that was such a great segment. I love that. Ridiculous. You know what was a great segment? We had Ali. We had a vignette for Ali, and he says he's chasing the WWE Championship because he wants to force a change. He doesn't care about money. He doesn't care about fame. He promised to one day be the WWE Champion, and he's going to change your mind. One day, a person that looks like you or sounds like you is going to be the champion, and one day that can be you. It's going to change your mind, and blah, blah, blah. He did his really great promo, really fired up, really heartfelt, and it kind of like amped me up. I'm like, wow, that was really impressive. I really did enjoy this a whole lot more than the, Mega Man presentation that they were giving him before. I'm sure he'll still come out with the whole lights and the gimmicks and everything, and that's all fine, but the message that he's sending right now is fantastic, and I really liked that vignette, and I hope they continue to do that with him before they just automatically insert him back in the WWE Championship picture. Now, some of you guys are going to be like, well, why would he go to the WWE Championship? Why wouldn't you put him for the Intercontinental Championship instead? Why wouldn't you put him on a path to a mid-card title instead? Well, it's important for you guys to remember that Ali, before they chopped off his first name and he was still known as Mustafa Ali, was in the hunt for the WWE Championship, and the fact that he was injured and removed from the situation is the only reason Kofi Kingston was involved in the first place, which found him elevated to the championship of the world. So obviously that's going to stick in the chest of Mustafa Ali, and now he wants to get that chance back once again. He was this close. All he had to do was win one more matchup. But then he was taken out of that matchup due to injury. And who was inserted in his place? The current WWE Champion. So everybody's saying, oh, Ali needs to go for a mid-card title. Well, that might have been the case a few months ago. But the guy was there. And it's not his fault he got hurt. And it's a great way to get him back down the path. And I'm alright with it. The whole Kofi Kingston Samoa Joe interview happened following that vignette. We already talked about that. I'm not going to talk about it much. Again, Kofi Kingston teased the handshake at the end of this whole thing, but then gave him the middle finger and then hit Samoa Joe with the Trouble in Paradise, and that would be the end of that segment. In the back, Heavy Machinery promises to defeat Ziggler and Owens, and then go on to Extreme Rules and become the WWE Tag Team Champions. I doubt that's going to be the case, but we will have to wait and see. They once again recapped the Braun Strowman-Bobby Lashley scenario from last night, and they only changed it this time by following it up with a Bobby Lashley promo that he put up on Twitter, a cell phone video that he put up saying that Strowman deserved everything he got, and he promised that next time he's not just going to put him in a hospital, he's going to put him in a morgue. How much more cliche can you get with that promo? And all that means is that they're going to cross paths again. And since it popped a rating for Monday Night Raw last night because a bunch of clowns never seen two behemoths break down a TV set before, or like I said, people are just so starving for something different and something new, something special finally kind of happened and everybody's losing their fucking minds. Well, everybody except us here anyway. Another thing I didn't mind too much on this night, Andrade with Zelina Vega defeated Apollo Crews. This is something that has been ongoing, or I shouldn't say ongoing, I should say on and off, because the last time we seen this was maybe 2 weeks ago. And I think I said on this show that this is something I would be interested in seeing. You could create 2 stars out of this scenario. Andrade's star level is already a little bit higher. He's a little bit more in the upper mid-card. Apollo Crews is still way down in the lower mid-card area. And these two guys working off each other and giving us stuff like this is a great way for these guys to get an Apollo Crews over and to establish Andrade as a real villain in this company. And I think it is going to work for the best of everybody. And in this scenario tonight, they continued their heel tactic wins, and Zelina Vega stuck her nose in where it didn't belong. She executed a Hurricane Rana on Apollo Crews to the outside, sending him into the announce table that when he got back into the ring, allowed Andrade to hit his patented hammerlock DDT for the win. And now this will continue on, and I'm sure Apollo Crews will have some sort of gripe with the way his loss went down. If Zelina Vega was not at ringside, would the outcome have been different? That's an argument that he is very valid to make. Is that right? That's an argument that he could make that is very valid. Let's go with that. That sounds a little bit more like proper English. And I'm alright with it. I'm okay with it. But I'm sure, this is WWE we're talking about. We know they're going to find a way to ruin it one way or another. In the back, Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler are having a powwow in the back. Owens said that they hadn't done a great job since returning, neither one of them. Well, no shit, Sherlock. He said that, you know what, they should come together tonight. They should give it a try, and maybe they could win the tag team titles. Why would he do this? Why would he care? I don't see why they would be so gung-ho on the WWE Heavyweight Championship, and then, yeah, you know what, I'll take the tag titles instead. Yeah, I'll take those. That's good. I'll just take them with this guy that I can't fucking stand. And we're going to pretend to work together for a little bit until some sort of nonsense happens, because that's how predictable this thing. If you didn't already know what was coming, just when this fucking teaming was made at the beginning of the show, then you have some wrestling schooling to go get done, because you're not as wise as you might think. Come on, the writing's on the wall with that booking. I know half of you guys, at least half of you guys, knew how this show was going to end, because I certainly did, and I know most of you guys are at least as smart as I am. In the back, Ember Moon's on her way to the ring, and for some reason, Carmella decided to bump in there and do like a little hip shimmy thing and wish her good luck. Great. I thought you were worried about Nikki Cross. What are you doing talking to fucking Ember Moon now? Staten Island dump. Get the hell out of here. Things get even worse again with the Aleister Black stuff. You thought I was mad last week when he was seething at the bit to have somebody knock at the door. And then there was a knock at the door. And then he decided to smile at us because he was so happy somebody knocked at the door. He was frozen in place. There's a knock at my door. What do I do? Get the fuck up and answer it, bro. And you know what? Now that we know what was there when he did answer the door, they definitely should have filmed it. Instead of having him look at us and smile, should have followed Aleister Black to the door so that when he opened the door, there would be nobody there. If that's what you were going to come back at us with this week. But no, instead of showing us nobody there, giving us a little bit of intrigue and going, what the hell's going on, you got this guy talking about spiritual battles. Oh, I found somebody knocked on the door, but he wasn't there. But that means that I have an opponent. Couldn't have been some guy just pranking you. Couldn't have been your wife, Zelina Vega, just looking for where you are. She knocked on the door. You're sitting there smiling for 30 seconds, 1 minute. She got tired of waiting. It's like, where's my boo? Knock, knock, knock. Thought I heard him in there, seething like a dog. Somebody pick me. And then he finally decided to get up to the door. Nobody's there. You took too long to answer the door, bro. That's what happened. There's no mystery. There's no spiritual bullshit. If you would have got up and answered the door, you would have known who was there. It could have been Pedro the janitor. It could have been some fucking fan just looking for a place to pee, and he thought it was the bathroom, and he was in the wrong spot. Could have been Aleister Black's mother. Maybe he had her there in attendance. Oh, Aleister, where are you, son? I have some, homemade Netherlands food. And now tonight we're back to the same shit. He's just sitting in the dark, talking to himself, talking about spiritual battles. I have my spiritual battle now. Ember Moon has a match with Mandy Rose, accompanied by Sonya Deville, of course. This was a very quick matchup, thank the Lord. And also, thank the Lord, thankfully Ember Moon won this matchup, and they seemingly are taking this storyline a little bit seriously as well. Something's actually continuing from last week. We finally get Ember Moon to get a solid victory on television to make people remember, oh shit, hey, that's right, she can wrestle and she's actually pretty good at it, and she can win. Great. Let's see where this goes. We still have all the little touchy-feely stuff going on, a little bit more so than usual with Sonya and Mandy, and everybody's wondering, are they going to do a same-sex storyline? And while I really don't give a shit one way or another, I wish they would either do it and get it over with, or don't do it at all, because it's already becoming too much of a thing. It's not even happened yet, and everybody's all going, oh, crazy! So crazy, they're gonna do a lesbian angle. Crazy! How fucking crazy is it? Do you guys forget HLA? Hot Lesbian Action? It was a weekly thing on Monday Night Raw, thanks to Eric Bischoff, who's now running SmackDown. This is nothing new. It's not going to be the first time we've ever seen anything like this. You guys forget about Dawn Marie and Tori Wilson? This isn't innovative television. This is them going back and taking steps backwards in the women's division, if you ask me. Nobody wants soap opera bullshit when it comes to the ladies. If we don't give a shit about Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, we are not going to give a shit about Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, will they, won't they? Well, at least a large section of the fan base won't. Maybe some of you guys will, you little dirty perverts, but I could really care less. These two girls are best friends in real life. I doubt this is really what's going on. One of the weirdest moments of the night, a backstage interview where asks Shelton Benjamin who he thinks is going to win the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules. Shelton Benjamin just looked around and smiled. He looking to the left, looking to the right, give a little smile. It's like an extreme close-up, too. And then he just walks off. One of the weirdest moments I've ever seen on television. And if this is the beginning of a new gimmick for the guy, then, great. If he was standing there and forgot his fucking line and just walked off because we are live, is definitely a possibility. But I don't know what that was. And quite frankly, I'm not sure I want to. You want to talk about a talent that has been absolutely wasted. The gold standard. has rusted at this point. He's probably all covered in fucking green mold like the Statue of Liberty, man. That's how long he's been on the shelf. Only pulled out in rare occasions. You know what I would do with Shelton Benjamin? I would pair his ass up with Paul Heyman. Make him a Paul Heyman guy and put him back next to his old pal Brock Lesnar. That would be a great thing to do, in my opinion. But that's a story for another day. The main event of this evening, Heavy Machinery defeated Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler to earn a spot in the tag team title match at Extreme Rules. And this is where the shenanigans came in for that fucking no wrestling during commercial break rule. And here's a big problem I have with it. I don't remember one time, ever, that a match had to be restarted because two other entities, whether it be singles competitors or two teams on the outside that had nothing to do with the match that was going on inside the ring, caused so much of a commotion out there that the match needed to be restarted. They had to make that official announcement just to make it seem like the match ended. Did the match end because the New Day and Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan decided to fight outside amongst themselves at the commentary booths? Why would the match end because of that? Anyway, they come back from the fucking break and they restart this matchup. And we have Heavy Machinery going over Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler, thanks to a miscommunication that Kevin Owens seen coming a mile away, pretty badly timed and sloppily executed, but Dolph Ziggler goes for the super kick, misses, hits Kevin Owens. He ends up suffering the fate of the compactor, which is a great finishing maneuver that these guys, Heavy Machinery, have. And Otis and Tucker win this matchup and the chance to be added to the tag team title match at Extreme Rules, which they will now do. And then they would leave the ring, and Kevin Owens, after the match, would hit a Stone Cold Stunner on Dolph Ziggler. The crowd pops huge, and then Kevin Owens turns to the camera, continuously yelling that this is my show, this is my show, this is the Kevin Owens show, this is my show. And that was your episode of SmackDown Live. And one of the other things confusing me is the whole Kevin Owens situation. He started off the night as a heel. He has come back as a heel. He has been a villain throughout the entirety of through the entirety of his return. And now he walks off tonight looking like the biggest hero because everybody hates Crybaby Dolph so much that they would rather cheer for Kevin Owens. And I just find it a conundrum. I don't understand what they're thinking. And while I don't hate the fact that Kevin Owens might be getting a push here, I struggle to find the logic. And I can't find why it was so important to continue Dolph Ziggler coming out and crying about his championship. I don't understand why we're having this matchup between the two people that have lost their opportunities already. And there's a whole list of people down there just waiting for an opportunity. Guys like Ali. You got the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor. You got Shinsuke. You got Rusev. You got a whole bunch of people you're not doing jack shit with, but we still got to see Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens in repeat performances versus Kofi Kingston, and then you're going to have a bunch of jerk-offs blaming Kofi Kingston for not having such a tremendous run. It's not the man's fault that they're giving him fucking garbage to work with, and I think he's doing the best he possibly could be under the circumstances. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your SmackDown Live review for this evening. I am so tired of bringing the hammer down on wrestling this week because AEW was not fucking safe, like we already mentioned. The hammer came down on Fyter Fest, and if you missed that one, it is live on the channel right now. The thumbnail looks like this, and everything wrong. Did you hear that? Everything wrong. I'm not sitting here stroking the cock of Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. I have an extremely different take on it than everybody else, and if you don't believe me, check it out for yourself. Everything Wrong with All Elite Wrestling's Fyter Fest live on the channel right now, because nobody is safe when the hammer's about to fall. Monday Night Raw absolutely drove me to insanity this week. If you missed that one, I don't have the thumbnail up and ready to show you, but it is live on the channel right now as well. It won't be hard to see because you're going to see two big giant baboons crashing into each other in a bunch of pyro explosions. And that's the way to find it, and it'll say Everything Wrong with Monday Night Raw, or Everything Wrong with Raw on the left. It's very, very easy to find. Go check it out. It may be one of the funniest reviews I have ever done in my entire life. I watched it back myself, and I never really laugh at myself when I do watch things back, but this was a good one. I had a whole lot of fun with it because that's what we do, man. We're negative and we hate the show when it's in this format, and we hate what they're doing to our beloved pro wrestling, but at the very least, I like to have fun. And I like to do things to entertain you, since you just spent the majority of the night not being entertained by the WWE. I hope you enjoy all of your time here with me at Sledgehammer TV. Don't forget, we got WWE 2K19 simulation videos up live on the channel as well, with the action called by yours truly, and we're getting set to do something for Extreme Rules. I'm not sure which one it'll be, but keep your eyes out for that. Hammer in Hollywood is in full effect. I would have much rather spent my evening tonight going to see Spider-Man Far From Home, but I am going to do that at some point this holiday weekend. I hope you guys enjoy and have a safe and happy 4th of July, and maybe you get to see Spider-Man too, so that by the time you come back from your 4th of July coma or your alcohol-induced, whatever, you can enjoy our review of Far From Home, which will be coming at you guys within the next week at the very least. If you want to see something before then, you can check out my hammering of the Dark Phoenix, or how I feel about the Avengers Endgame. Everybody loved Endgame, except for me. You want to see why? Check out that review as well. Anything you need as a pro wrestling fan when you want your wrestling news honest and true, this is the place for you. And now we are bringing the hammer down once again on all of Hollywood. I want to thank you guys all for getting us to 1,700 subscribers. We are trying like hell to get to 2,000 before we get to Extreme Rules. I hope you guys can help me if you are not already a member of the Sledgehead Army, my Sledgehammer TV family, and you are still here with me at the almost 45-minute mark on this fantastic SmackDown Live review. Hit that subscribe button right now, because you know you want to be part of the coolest, newest, fastest rising faction in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and we are taking over one subscriber and one video at a time. Thank all of you for coming along. If you have already subscribed, and then you know what to do. Your only jobs are to smash that like button if you enjoyed anything I said today. If I made you laugh, if I made you cry, if I made you go, this guy is crazy, hit that thumbs up, because you know you want to. Share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they thought tonight's episode of SmackDown Live was meh. At least it was better than Raw, man. That is no way to look at anything. Because if you ain't better than the best, then you don't deserve to even be... I'm sorry, if you ain't better than the worst, if you're not better than the absolute worst, then you don't deserve to be in the game. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team. Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball. You will never find another show anywhere in the world with a world heavyweight champion microphone. He resides only here at Sledgehammer TV, where the most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you. That, my friends, is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com.